Right, so yeah, we got the full extension drawers all the way. The whole depth comes out. Big drawer there, big square drawer. And then another one, all with 100 kilo load capacity. Right guys, we're at this job today. We're about to fit an understairs unit. Say hello, Sean.
Hello everyone.
We just unloaded the van. As you can see, it's nice and empty. These are the runners we're using today. Look how chunky these are. 20mm thick, 53mm high, GTV, heavy duty runners to take 100 kilos per drawer. Tools out, all the train gear as usual. Set of bearers, packers, materials dotted around. This is the space. By the way, apologies for the mic. This is an off-the-cuff video where I don't have my microphone on me, so it's the phone mic today. It's the usual. We're going to start with the bearers. If you don't know how the bearers go down, I'm not going to be teaching you that today. Have a look at this video. But bearers rather than kitchen feet. Can't stand kitchen feet. It's got to be bearers or something nice and solid, because that is about 50% of your fixing's strength. It's going to fit those down, show you in a bit once they're done. Sean, in the meantime, will be starting assembling the units. Alright, so for this understairs unit to work, we need to put a trim at the top here. Okay, this one doesn't need a trim at the top as such. It doesn't need it past that point. It's resting underneath. But this one is going to be sailing over the string, so we need to remove this trim here. So I've started here, run a Stanley knife down that joint, going to ping that off, hopefully, then get our carcass flush with this to put our trim back on afterwards. Get rid of this one. Hopefully it comes off nice and easily. So with the architrave off now, I can get my level off of this string down to the bottom and get my level point from the string down to the floor. Then I know where my unit's going to be, and then from that point work out where my bearer's going to be, at least my front bearer. Alright, so that's the bearers done, and Sean is cracking on getting these carcasses put together. There's one angled unit, he's doing the other one. Tip of the day, put your runners on the pieces first before you assemble your units. Otherwise, you're just putting your runners on when they're standing up, and it's a nightmare. So yeah, the bearer system much easier than kitchen feet overall as the bigger picture. Kitchen feet, yeah, you just screw them on, you twist them, you level them up. But then you've got no fixing strength at the bottom of your wardrobe or your understairs unit. And in my opinion, a no-no. Now I've got this done, I can simply take my measurement for the socket. We need to cut out for the socket, which will be cut out here on the side of the unit. This is just an open unit on the right hand side with one big door. Over here is 3 drawers, 3 drawer fascias, 2 carcasses. I can take those measurements, get ready for Sean. He's finished his carcasses, but I'll help him for a moment to get these done so we can start placing them in. I have one ready to go, so did you want to get that in?
Yeah.
Just to get it out your way?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go and do it. Unit in, nice and tight. The idea is when we come to fix this, we're going to be fixing the carcass down into the bearers. Again, that's 50 to 70% of the strength for me. And we're going to get packers in here as well, spacers. We're going to then screw through the top into the string as well. Give this some awesome strength, this unit. It's not going to go anywhere. And then we've got a trim here to cover most of this, okay? So all I need to do now is pre-drill and screw down into the bearer, and that's the whole point of the bearer system now. We can just simply get screws down into it, and that's not going anywhere. But first we just need to just get a straight edge and just make sure the front of this is completely in line with the string. Make sure that's nice and flush with that string before we get that fixed down. Sean, that's my favourite worker. Yeah, you good?
Good.
Yeah, right, so let's get this in. Another one done. Can't do this one-handed with the camera. We'll have to wait until I'm in there. Get onto those bearers at the back. There we go, we're on there. Right, another one in. Not lined up properly, but they're both in. We need to make this one over there because we won't get through the door. Sean, should we get dusty over there? So to screw the carcasses together, it's just a matter of using 30mm wood screws already pre-drilled in the workshop. As you can see there's already one pre-drilled. Do 3 in depth because this is extra depth. And yeah, 30mm is fine. Using a clamp to hold them nice and tight and flush at the top. Then once they're screwed together, I can then just simply screw down into the bearers. Right, so using a straight edge here, I'm just running it off the sides. Okay, this is just a bit scrap, bit straight. I'm going to run it up off the side and see where it hits up against the string. Although I'm not worried about this tiny bit of plaster here. I'm just worried about here. But I want a mil or so gap from the string, which is the wooden bit, to the packer. Because when we come to put that trim on, we don't want that touching. We want it fixed here, but we don't really want it fixed here as such, where they're both completely glued together. Because if you get any movement on this unit, pulling the drawers in and out, in and out, in and out, and you're running up and down the stairs, all it's going to do is break a glue joint. So in my personal opinion, I like to glue it here. Maybe if anything, you can always put a little bit of, just a couple of dabs of flexible silicone on this part of the trim. And that is it. Yeah, otherwise you're going to get broken joints all the time and paint lines breaking constantly. It's completely level, but when you do spray one component, sometimes you get a bow in a component. As you can see, it's slightly bowed, this one. Not to worry, because what we're going to be doing is putting spacers in between the gap and the carcass to bring it down, and just we're going to look down that and just put spacers every now and then screw up into the string. Remember, that's half the strength as well, is getting the screws into the string. So we're going to be packing this down, looking down the top at the same time, getting that nice and straight throughout the whole unit with the packers. First things first is I'm going to be screwing them down into the bearers now. You can see here, we generally do it. So that's the back of the carcass. We come in 50mm, and that is the center of our bearer. And that's always planned. We come in 30 to the back. And the same here, you can't really see it, but it's 30 from the front of the carcass to the start of the bearer. And when you come in from the unit, and you pre-drill down into the unit, you can come in 50, which is a nice margin, and that will hit the center of your bearer. As many screws in these two as we want, because they're going to get covered. We're going to have 3 drawers in here, so these carcasses are completely covered. So I'm going to put 3 or 4, and all of these don't need to be strategic with the screws. With these, it's an open unit, so we'll probably just put 1, 2, 3, 4 on those. Let's get that screwed down, and then we'll get the packers in and screw up. Using 50mm long wood screws for this, pre-drilling first with a 3mm drill bit. 50mm in. At the back, it's 50mm in. I've got my spacers in there where I want them, pre-drilled. Past 10, carcasses in, angled ones anyway, screwed down, screwed up. Sean's just adding the backing to this carcass over here, and then that will be ready to cut the socket out and install. That's ready to go. We use 30mm screws on our backings, and we use 6mm backings just in case you want to know, nothing less. And yeah, we're ready to go on this to put it in that space, because we've got all the fixings in that. So last carcass, but I'll tell a lie, Sean, we need to cut, don't we, with a jigsaw? Yeah. Have you marked it?
Yeah, I've marked it
right
on this side there.
Oh, okay, let's spin it round and then we are ready to go. It's great to have brand new sharpened drill bits. Check out this video, because I've got a gadget that will sharpen up all your drill bits, and like us, we got tons that are blunt. Sharpen them in minutes. Check this video out, because it's a great little gadget. All ready to go, aren't we, Sean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's that one in. Let's get that centered. Hopefully the socket lines up. This unit, I'm thinking that we're just going to be fixing it down into the bearers, and we'll get a fixing into the newel post because it's timber. May get one here, not too sure. Probably get one into the dado. Sean's marking out the trims now, cutting them outside. Got the bench set up outside. I am screwing this side, so this was slightly twisted, so what I've done is I've put in some screws on all three. 1, 2, 3. Then I've got these space plugs, screwed them to the right width, make sure they're correct, like so, and they will go back in. So I will release that screw, put that in, put the screw back in, and that should be nice and level. But they're great little things to have, these space plugs. I'll leave links for you. Trims went in really nice, a little bit of tweaking, but they went in nice and tight. Sean's getting that bottom one in. We want to get these in first before we start hanging doors and fitting drawers. Simple 3mm pre-drill, 4 on that. Remember, these ones are going to get covered. You just can't do anything about those. We don't do caps. We think they look worse than sin the screw. Yeah, that's our philosophy.
More look like IKEA units, don't they?
Yeah, so we just make the screw nice and flush. It's always what we do. Yeah, so that's the only trim that's flush with the carcass. The rest are on the front, 25mm thick, to be the same thickness as the fascias and the door. I'm just going to pump in those screws. Then we could just start building up from that point, because the carcasses are now fixed in place. The bottom trim will now be in. It's just a matter of drawers and fascias, then trim on top, hang door, trim on top. Sounds easy, right? That'll take longer than what we've just done. Make them nice and flush. Yeah, it's looking good. Right, so guys, before you plan your projects, you may as well try and upgrade your runners from the 44mm high runners to the 54mm high runners. They are so much thicker. Let me just show you. These are really, really chunky. I mean, the other ones are strong. Really strong, and these are just, you could probably stand in the drawer. They take 100 kilos, these do, per pair, and that's what we're using. They're GTV. Take a look. I'm going to leave links. You should really use these are probably the best out there for taking weight. We've got the side part there mounted on our drawer. We're going to go and start fitting the drawers in place. Sean's getting the thinner part of the runner on the drawers, as all the thicker part of the runners are on the carcasses. 1, 2, 3 drawers. We're going to get those in now, because we've worked from the bottom upwards now. We're fixed down into position. Plinth in there, both fixed in position. We've got our packer there for strength, both sides, again, left and right. That carcass isn't moving anywhere. Packers at the top. We're good to go just to start building up drawers in, fascias, trims. Yes, it's good news, isn't it, Sean?
Yeah.
Good news.
Good news.
What are you looking for?
30s.
It's 30s. It's a life of Sean. 5 minutes of Sean. Let's do 5 minutes of Sean. We're joking. So we like to get the carcasses in, then the drawers, then the fascias, and then the trims. So the idea is we're going to get these drawers in next. Then we can start fitting the fascias, and the doors. And what that does is allows us to adjust everything exactly where we want it to be. Make sure the drawers line up nicely and the doors all perfect. And then the fascias, we can put like a 3mm packer at the top to rest our trims on and get our 3mm gaps from our leveled up and adjusted fascias and doors. So that is the way to do it. Right, so we are using inset hinges for the single door that we've got. All right, and this is what they look like. They've got the biggest kick, biggest bend on them, okay? If you see a hinge with half of that height bend, then that's a half overlay. If you get one that's straight, that's a full overlay. We're going for the inset, okay? Because what we're doing here is we've got effectively a trim that sits flush with the carcass, and our door is inset, okay? So our door is inset of the carcass, not overlay. Check out this video if you want to see what all three types do. A two-man job when you come to fit a big drawer like this. So basically we just need those two prongs to line up with the black part there within there. So I'm going to hold this end, Sean's going to hold that end, and we'll slide it in. Make sure your drawer is level as well as you're wobbling it in. Right, I'm in. You like to give it a little wobble up and down as you're pushing it, just to consolidate. Give it a little push in. It always takes one little push in like that, and then that's located. Good to go. Let's pull it all the way out, Sean. That should be full extension. There we go, the whole drawer. Let's see how much sag there is. Hardly any whatsoever. Don't jump in there, Sean. Jump in there. Sean, you push that in, and then we'll get the other one in. Yeah, the biggest, heaviest one. Have you not got it ready?
No.
Sackable. Sacked. Can you see that door there? Drawer to go. This one's square. We thought that the shelf on the side is better than the shelf along one long edge. It's just so it's easier access. As you pull it out, you can get down into the bottom and into the top. I'm gonna go ahead and fit this one. Sean, show the people how to do it. In and out, give it a little test. Look at that. Isn't she lovely? I'm in.
Yeah.
You're in? I should hold it. Nice. Yeah, do you want to have a look around? Just make sure it's in properly.
Yeah, it's in properly.
Cool. Right, that's another one. Slide it in, see if it all works. Nice. All right. So now it's fascias and door time. So we are hinging the door now. Let's get that done. The machining was done in the workshop for the holes and everything, but to straighten them up, show them that trick, Sean. You just put a straight edge across all of them, and up against the straight edge of the hinge on each one, and it will straighten it up for you to get them all nice and straight. 20mm screws. Yeah, we're going to get that hung now. These are GTVs, soft close, inset. So I'm going to demo my hinge jig like I do all the time. Check out my hinge jig, it's been sold on my website. Sold so many of these. These are so handy. They just slide in place. They're 3D printed. They work with inset, half overlay, full overlay. Just screw them onto the bottom like so. One tiny little screw like that. You can also get a longer version where the screw gets hidden behind the hinge, but I prefer the smaller version. Even though you do see the screw hole, it's very easy to conceal. And then we got a little spacer at the top. That will rest anywhere at the top, and what that does is gives you a 6mm space away from the carcass. This one has already got a 6mm spacer away from the carcass, so we've got the shoe and a spacer built in there. So that door will literally just sit directly on top of that. I'm going to put it at 90 degrees, flip over the hinges, screw it on, and that is the door in exactly the correct position. Go on then, Sean, show me what you got. Faster.
I've got a door for you.
Oh, have you got a door? Oh, so kind. Right, Sean, show me how easy it is to do this one-handed. Right. Ah, that spoilt it. This detail on this wardrobe is slightly different, where we are a little bit low there. but we can flip that space around to the side like so, just for the time being, to get the space that we need, which is 6mm, or you can use a 6mm spacer, but the spacers are provided. So for now, Sean, if he really wanted to, he could just free up one hand, flip over a hinge, put a screw in quite easily on his own. I'll give you a hand so you're not sweating on camera.
Sweat.
There we go, halfway, straight in. And that is it. So you let go, Sean, that's all you need. You could just let go of that door. Yeah. So that is the beauty of my jig. Check it out. We're going to flip over all those hinges now, and then we can just release the hinge jig, and the door is in exactly the right place for us to close it up. The door is on now, so it's a matter of fascias. Door is on, so that's what the hinge jig did for us. It held the door. We got a lovely gap there to put our trims on either side. I'm going to work on the fascias now. So I've lined up the fascias. I've simply just put packers on the floor to where I thought I needed them, and I've lined them up. Some 3mm packers there to give me my 3mm gap. Taped it at the top so it doesn't fall over. And there we go. We're just able to just give it a knock because we've got the screws protruding from the back of the drawer. Give them a knock and it'll dent the back, and then we can get those screwed on. But yeah, that's the time, 1:45. Time is ticking fast now. It generally does when you get to this stage. So what you do is you generally give it a tap to dent the back where the screws are protruding. That's going to mark the back. So Sean's trimming up around the door. He's taking measurements for those three. At the same time, I've just screwed this fascia on and this fascia on with the method I just told you. This one has got a few screws sticking out. You can just see one there, one there, one there. I'm not going mad, I'm not using them all just in case I screw them on and I need to use some of the other holes for adjustments of moving them a bit here or there. I'm also just going to bring those out ever so slightly more, so when I knock it I know I'm going to mark the back of the fascia. But they're going on really nicely. I've got my gaps that I need, and I've pumped in all the screws on these two now. Happy with those. Just going to finish that off, then I'll be jumping on with Sean to get the rest of the trims done. So now we're coming up to the top trim. I want to get that done first, and I'll put the side trim and the side trim on next. So first of all, I need to tape on some 3mm packers to the top of my fascias, like so. 1, 2, 3 probably, or even 4. Then I need to take my trim and cut 2 angles, one at the bottom, one at the top. They're going to be exactly the same way. I've got my bevel set up, resting on my fascia, up against the newel post of the staircase, taking my measurement there. Then I'm going to transfer that onto my trim. There you go, that's striped on. So then I need to just take that point, because this is going to be exactly the same angle. Then I need to just take my measurement from that point, which is 3mm up, but the way 3mm up touches this newel post, all the way down again to the same reference point, take that measurement and use the same bevel to stripe the angle in the same way. Gonna get those cut, then we can get that fixed in place. 3mm gap all the way. And again, a nice cut there. Little trim needs to go there. Trim needs to go there. Sean's sorting that side out. I'm sorting this side out. We'll be finished in what, 4 minutes?
4 minutes as we wish.
4 minutes, we'll be home, yeah. Be home in 4 minutes.
Teleport.
Teleport. I've got one of those at home. 2 o'clock. That trim is glued on now, so yeah, we're going to have to just treat that with a bead or touch up with the paint. It might even look nicer with just a touch up. I'm thinking that rather than another bead, because everything's got square edges on it. And moving down, I'm ready to go here. I've put 3mm packers on the edge of the door, so when I put this trim on, I can just make sure that's nice and tight up against that to give me a 3mm gap. There is mastic going all the way around, so any little mini gaps here and there, they're going to get covered. The ideal situation is getting the nice 3mm gaps all the way around like we have here. Right guys, so we're at about 4:20. Time is ticking away, but really happy with the results so far. So as you can see, the string of the staircase has been painted, it's been sanded and painted, so that's blending in nicely, although we do need to silicone around the whole job. That black line will go. But where we pulled off the bead, that came off nice and flat, so there's no real filling or sanding to do there. It was just the liquid paint and a couple more coats, and that'll be nice. Other than that, we just got handles to do. All the trims are all done now. Sean's just putting a few bits away. Gone over with the customer where the handle's going to be. They are black nickel effect handles to match stuff in the house. So we just summoned an iron where to put them. We discussed with the customer we're going to be putting them roughly there, there, there and there. So we're going to draw them on the masking tape, confirm with the customer, draw them out, get them on. And that is basically it, apart from just cleaning down and the silicone all the way around. Right, last bits of the day, just going around with a bit of silicone, and you can just see what a little bit of silicone does. Right at the end, just completes it, gets rid of those black lines. Touched up that once more. It's quick drying paint, so hopefully 10 minutes it's dry enough to get a bead down there to finish that off too. But it's all looking nice and sweet. Handles are on. 5:15, start at 7:30. 10 more minutes, all the woodworking will be done. Guys, we're done. It's 5:30. Let me just give you a little show around, because we did manage to finish it all off, including the siliconing, and all went well in the end. No real issues, a few little tweaks here and there, but we've made everything work. Really looks really nice. So let's spin it around. Right, so yeah, we got the full extension drawers all the way. The whole depth comes out. Big drawer there, big square drawer. And then another one, all with 100 kilo load capacity. So check out the GTV drawer runners. They are blinding. Full extension, really chunky. Won't let you down. So they're all done. Handles finish off the job nicely. Great customer choice. And then on the right, we've got the door for the hoovers and the socket at the bottom to power all the hoovers. All the siliconing was done just now. Finishes it off nicely. Siliconed up against the floor, just so we don't get any damp issues. If the floor is going to get washed, the skirt won't soak up any of the water. It's looking nice and seamless now. Job done. So there we go, 10 hours, 2 people, effectively 20 man hours to get that done, all in. Well, it's basically 2 units, isn't it? We got the angled one and then we got the rectangle one, but it's all done. Hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know if you like this kind of content. Sorry I didn't bring the mic, and at the beginning of the video it was filming in just full HD, just didn't realize, then I swapped it to Ultra HD. But leave comments, guys, bump up the video, like and share to anyone that you think needs an Understairs unit. And yeah, have a great Friday. Take it easy. Say bye, Sean.
Bye everyone.
Take it easy. Bye for now.